Hey guys, and welcome to another news update for Battlefield 2042. Today we're gonna talk about the new Recoil System that is coming to the game in Season 7 and is almost as controversial as the time to kill changes back in Battlefield 5. We also got some more lore and map details alongside another screenshot of the first map, and we finally got the official teaser for Season 7 that gives us the name of the new season and the release date of its gameplay trailer. And that's also what I want to start with. So the name of Season 7 is Turning Point and not Tipping Point like we had speculated in my last video, and the gameplay trailer will be released next Tuesday on March 12th. Unfortunately, it doesn't give us the release date for the season yet, but I'm pretty sure this should be March 19th, since the trailer usually drops 1 week before. The teaser also shows the new logo of the season that looks like a wildcat, so it's not the winged skull either, and it shows the color palette in orange-brown. What's also interesting is the background, cause this looks like bullet shells floating in water or any other kind of fluid, and we can also hear the noise of water. And the reason for this is explained in the latest blog post we got that gives us a bit more details to the lore of the season. It's another read report similar to the ones we got before, and this time our reporter shines a light on why the Atacama Desert becomes a new theater of war. I tried to keep that short because I know that not many players are interested in the background story of the game, but if you want to read through the full article yourself, you can find a link to it in the description below. So the read report starts with a statement of one of the leaders of the TPC, the Thousand Petals Coalition, saying that they will no longer stand by as others dictate their fate and that Chile is only the beginning. Reed then writes that the TPC has started their assault on Chile in the morning and that they are especially interested in a lithium mining town in the Atacama Desert called El Alicanto. This town also harbors access to one of the world's largest aquifers, and whoever holds it has control of the water supply of the whole continent. Reed then talks to a member of the local militia that is trying to fight the TPC back and states that for them, this is not only a fight for resources, but also for their homes and their families. So that's basically the two factions we will see in Season 7. On one side, the TPC as attackers, and on the other side, a local militia as the defenders. And the main resource we're fighting for is water. I already had hopes for a bit of naval warfare with the water in the background of the teaser, but this wouldn't really fit the location anyhow. The report also shares another screenshot of the map that gives us a little bit more insight on what terrain we can expect, and this actually gives me strong Atacama Desert vibes from Bad Company 2 mixed with a bit of Arica Harbor. So it looks like there is some urban combat since both pictures we got so far are focused on these houses, but I also think we will see a more open part around it for vehicles to maneuver. However, as for the second map that was teased back in December, I think we will see this at some point in the middle of the season, like I said in my last video, to provide a more constant flow of content instead of dropping everything at once. So I would not expect to see any specific teasers for it yet. It might be briefly mentioned in the trailer, but the focus will surely be on the Chilean map for now. If you want to set a notification for the trailer, you can find a link to the YouTube waiting page in the description below. We also had a leak that allegedly shows some of the new weapons that might be added with the season, so if you haven't seen this yet, be sure to check out the video in the info box. Anyways, that was it for the Season 7 teaser so far. Now let's have a closer look at the new Recoil System that will be added as part of Update 7.0. But first things first, what are we even talking about when it comes to this new Recoil System? Well, in the short clip that was posted by the official Battlefield channels alongside a longer thread on X, game designer Jak Larsson introduced the new recoil mechanic as follows.
With Season 7, we wanted to make the visual experience of firing a weapon more satisfying by adding more variety in our recoil animations. Firing different weapons will feel more unique and powerful.
So at first glance, this sounds and also looks like they're simply adding a new visual component to the weapons that gives them a more unique recoil behavior and makes them feel heavier and more realistic. But this might also mean that your reticle doesn't always point where your bullets actually go. So bullets still go where the middle of your screen is pointing at, while the weapon and reticle of your optic move out of this area to somewhat simulate a recoil feeling. However, that's luckily not how it works in the new system that is coming to 2042 in Season 7, but more about that in a second. In addition to the clip, the Battlefield Comms account opened a long thread explaining the motivation behind this change and how it will affect your gunplay. So they want weapons to feel more unique and powerful when it comes to firing them, and also create a more vivid firing experience that provides more visual emphasis on the weight and power of a weapon when firing in ADS. They also wrote that these changes will be more subtle to some players and more apparent to others, and they're hoping that this new system will provide distinct character to each weapon's gameplay and visuals, but without impacting the gameplay viability. In addition, we got some more clips with comparisons for different weapon categories, such as assault rifles, LMGs and SMGs. But of course, the system will come to all weapons and not only to those three. However, when asked about the specific behavior of this new mechanic and whether the recoil is only visual or will also affect where your bullets go, one of the DICE developers replied as follows over on Reddit. It's a complicated mix of both. It doesn't have 0% effect on where bullets go, but spread is not being removed. A bit later, the same developer added that aim point and reticle will still work as it does right now, and that you won't have bullets going where you're not aiming, except for the already existing spread and dispersion, of course. And I honestly wish they would be more transparent about these changes on the official channels and not only in replies to specific questions. So what this actually means, at least from my understanding of the explanations, is that the new recoil system is not purely visual, as it sounds like in the clip or in the official description, but instead adds more recoil in general to the weapons. That adds up with the already existing spread and causes a slightly different recoil pattern at the end. This is also clearly visible in the clips that were shared alongside of the posts on X, but it doesn't mean that your bullets will go where you are not aiming at or at some kind of random bullet spread similar to Battlefield 1, because that's what I read a few times from players being concerned about this. It also doesn't add more spread or dispersion, and your weapon will not move out of the center of your screen. Your aiming point will still be your reticle or iron sight, and this will still stick to the center of your screen, which is also where your bullets should go. So the recoil in general will be stronger, and there's a visual aspect added to how much your weapon moves or rotates around its reticle, and this will make them feel punchier, heavier and more impactful. And there will be differences between the weapon categories and also between the weapons within their categories. But it will definitely be noticeable and will surely take some time getting used to the new behaviors and patterns. I know most weapons in 2042 are relatively easy to control right now compared to other games, and some players were complaining that weapons feel too casual, and I also like when weapons in video games feel somewhat realistic and add more immersion. But I'm still wondering why they took the time and resources to make this change more than 2 years after release, now that everyone got used to the weapon recoils and their behaviors. I'm also curious how the difference in handling will be between PC and consoles, because mouse and keyboard players are a bit more affected by this change than controller players. And I'm saying this as someone who's playing both PC and console. Because on controller, the recoil of each weapon is about 20% lower compared to mouse and keyboard, and the full use of aim assist helps with recoil control as well. So this difference in handling will also be very interesting to see. However, we can only wait and see how the changes will play once the update has dropped, but if it works how it is described, it should be an improvement over the current system, even though it comes very, very late. Anyways, that was it for today. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comments below. Do you like the changes or are you skeptical about it? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until then, thanks for watching and thanks to my members for the additional support. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.